Hi friends, Laura A. Grace here, the author of Dear Author, Letters from a Bookish Fangirl and Team Lines of Poetry Collection. I am so excited to be doing an epic, super fun book tag today, and in fact, this whole video is dedicated to my sweet and faithful commenter and supporter of this YouTube channel, Luna. I'm going to be doing a bookshelf tour just like you asked, requested, and I'm super duper excited to show you all of the books. May you deeply enjoy this video, and not just Luna, but I hope you, viewer, that you enjoy this video and discover some new reads and new books along the way. Yeah! Luna had asked if I would do a bookshelf tour, and I was really excited about it, and I got even more excited when I happened to see that Serena at A Wandering Mind had actually did an original book tag called the Bookshelf Book Tag. So I thought, why not just combine the two, because in the tag that she has, you actually show off your said bookshelf. So before I dive into doing the actual official bookshelf tour, I'm going to do the book tag that Serena has made first. And I will leave a link below to Serena's video. Are you guys ready to jump in and do this thing? I'm super pumped. Number one, how many bookshelves do you have? So I thought of bookcases, and I have 3 bookcases actually in my house. This one next to me is my own personal bookshelf, so these are just my books. Then my kids have a bookshelf in our living room / playroom where it's mainly just all of their books. And then we have a family bookshelf where there are more family reads that we have there. Chuck Black's Kingdom series, anybody read it? So incredibly good. My whole family read it growing up, and it is the only series that our whole entire family has actually read together. Number 2, how many books are on your bookshelves, or how many books do you think you own? So before this video, I actually counted to see how many books I have on my personal bookshelf. I have 121 books. That was more than I was expecting. I think on our family-owned bookshelves, if I included those, I probably have about 20 books, 20 to 25 books on there. But I will admit that I'm just focusing on my personal bookshelf because it's the only one that I actively look at and use and see. Number 3, how do you organize your books? At one point, I did actually try to do like a colored theme, and I did. I really loved it. I thought it was super pretty, but it was not me. I am a bright, colorful person, don't get me wrong. However, when I film videos, I really enjoy rearranging my bookshelf right before a video so that not the same books are being spotlighted, or like you can see right now. Like, so these books I love to rearrange. Grant, I rearranged the whole entire bookshelf, but I love for these books right here to change in the videos so that other people can see different books and not just the same ones over and over. The only like requirement that I say I have when I'm organizing is I like the series to be together, and I like them, since books come, different shapes and sizes, I like the spines all to be the same size. I don't think that's the right word, but all of them line up. And so that is like my only like requirement, that they definitely have to line up because I think it looks prettier that way to me. Number 4, what is the oldest book on your bookshelf? I'm not 100% sure. I was thinking really hard on this question of which is my oldest book. I think it is Desiree Williams' Heart Song Trilogy. I got this a few years ago. I went and met her and got my books signed and ordered them from her right there at the conference. Or convention, I mean. That was super duper exciting. If it wasn't Desiree Williams' Heart Song Trilogy, then it would be Counted Worthy by Leah E. Good. I can't remember when I got this book. I know that I've wanted to read it for many years. So I feel like technically it's probably the oldest book on my personal bookshelf. And by personal bookshelf, I mean like my personal TBR pile. I had the ebook for years, and then I won the paperback at a Christmas giveaway, and that was so exciting. And I still haven't read it yet. Number 5, what is the newest book on your bookshelf? Technically, I have 3 because I got 3 books yesterday before this video. One I pre-ordered back in January, so I don't technically know if it counts, but Dust, super pretty. Look at that cover. Look at that. It is a Peter Pan retelling, or it's sort of like a continuation of Peter Pan. I've heard it's very good. The 2 books that I did get yesterday is Hatsu, Haru and Kumakuma Bear. I'm really excited for both of these, especially Kumakuma Bear. I found this book a few months ago and I didn't get it, but then when I was at Barnes & Noble's with my husband for our anniversary, I found it and I loved the beginning. It was really funny. Hatsu, Haru, I loved the cover of it. It's so watercolory and just very pretty, makes me think of spring, and I love the premise of the book, and I'm really excited to dive into this one. Number 6, what is the longest book on your bookshelf? Hands down, this is a gem, Earthborn Heirs by Melanie G. Clark. I love this book. It's a portal fantasy, very, very unique. It has a lot of Christian elements that are woven into the actual storytelling. It's also just a really fun story. That ending, guys, I need book 2 ASAP. Number 7, what is the shortest book on your bookshelf? I would definitely say my own book, Team Lines of Poetry Collection, but excluding that because I feel it's not fair, would be Severed Veil by Bethany A. Jennings. This is like a poetry collection, short story collection, and I absolutely love it. It is so good and packs a very powerful punch. Number 8. What is the predominant genre on your bookshelf? Fantasy. All kinds of fantasy. Urban fantasy, epic fantasy, YA fantasy, just all of the fantasies. Number 9. Have you done a bookshelf tour? No, this will actually be the very first one I've ever done, which has made this video really, really exciting. Number 10. Go on a random number generator and talk about a book that corresponds with that number. Out of 121 books, the random number I got using random.org is 92. Oh my goodness. That book is Be More Japan. Oh, this book makes me so excited. So I got this book for Mother's Day. It was a gift from my husband. I really have a heart for the Japanese people. I really, really want to move there one day with my family and just share the love of Jesus with this amazing group of people, with this amazing culture. I have been so personally inspired. A lot of my writing is deeply influenced by Japan in some kind of way. My own personal tagline, and I will leave a link below to it too, is reaching for Japan because of the heavy Japanese overtones. And usually I will say that it's usually contemporary kind of overtone, not necessarily fantasy, though I have fantasy elements in my story. But I got this book because it had some really helpful information about Japan that I thought would just enrich the experience, especially since I can't just pack up and go to Japan tomorrow, especially with the coronavirus and the pandemic and such. I loved the things that I've learned in this book. I have not read it straight through, but I have just sort of skimmed through it and sort of just flipped to random pages that I thought were pretty. It has been so informative and just gives me so much insight into Japan itself as a culture. I have really looked forward to diving into this. I haven't, like I said, just yet, but felt it was a really important thing for me as a writer who wants to write about Japanese elements and as a person who really wants to go visit there one day. Number 11, do you have fan merch or any other decorations on your bookshelf? Usually I have my Funko Pops. I have Genos right here, and I have one unicorn, though we have 3 of those unicorns in our house, just sort of lurking around. My kids just sort of take the unicorn, and the unicorn just goes somewhere until I can randomly find it again. But I usually have my Funko Pops up on my bookshelf. That is, if my almost 2-year-old daughter does not take them down. I recently discovered that poor Katara has a broken foot. I was so sad. Sokka's already had his boomerang broken. I need to go get some super glue and some magic eraser because they do have some paint mark scuffs on them. And it makes me super sad, and I haven't been able to just put them anywhere else where they're out of reach because I really love them on my bookshelf. Number 12, share your bookshelf. Here is my whole entire bookshelf with all of, as you can see, Katara's broken foot. She doesn't stand upright. But this is my whole personal bookshelf. And just starting from here, from Springs Rising, these are some of the books that I recently have got. This here, Haleda and Rothana, are one of my favorite series. Perfect World is an incredible manga. Just have to shout out to that. Sarah Ella's Unblemished trilogy has been so inspirational to me as a writer. I absolutely love Portal Fantasy because of her. And there's my books right there. Team Lines and Dear Author. And there's Appa, Aang, Eraserhead from My Hero Academia. Moving on to the next bookshelf. This is a mermaid series, and I still have not read that. That's from L2L Publishing. Desiree's books, one of my favorite authors. And there's Shadow's Hand. I love Shadow's Hand, guys. One of my favorite books as well. Waiting for Spring is a new manga I recently discovered, and I absolutely love it. Vendena's Rise. I'm pretty excited about this. This is a review book that I got. I have not read it yet, but it has ninjas in it, and my one of my best friends said it's extremely good. This is another manga. It is a self-published manga, and I'm super pumped for that. And here's some Sokka with his broken boomerang, my unicorn, Genos from One Punch Man. Moving on to the third bookshelf, we have some of these. Our Sweet Guillotine makes me really excited because look, red spray painted edges. So incredibly cool. The only book I have like that. Snow White with the Red Hair, one of the cleanest mangas I have read to date. 100 Days of Sunlight, a must read if you love contemporary. These are my Japanese books, and these two are actually notebooks. And there's Katara, who can't stand upright, Zuko, and Deku from My Hero Academia. And my last bookshelf, I have my Japanese dictionary. Rabbit Hob, I have not read any of her books. My best friend sent me a copy to hurry up and read, and I still have not hurried up and read it. These are the 3 new books that I got yesterday. My Hero Academia manga is actually technically not mine. That is actually my husband's, but we put him on my bookshelf so he could have more room on our family bookshelf. Haiku! Oh, the Electrical Menagerie. Very, very good, guys. It's a circus book and it is totally epic. To Best the Boys by Mary Weber recently won a Realm Makers Award, which was totally awesome. And The Spinster's Christmas is a light novel with illustrations in it. My friend Devora recommended that to me. And that, my friends, is my whole bookshelf. Number 13, tag someone. I am actually going to be tagging Shay Geeks Out because I absolutely love seeing all of her bookshelves behind her for her video. She has so much manga. I happened to see like what book she was going to be getting. I think it was like in June, and I discovered like 3 or 4 different manga from her, and I would just love to see how much manga she thinks that she owns and just a tour of her bookshelf because I think that'd be really cool. And that concludes our bookshelf book tag. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you see any of your favorites on my bookshelf, or you're like, Laura, you must add this to your bookshelf immediately. I would totally love to hear your recommendations. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!